Perfect. And we'll open it up for questions in the room.
Next to you.
Brandon, kind of the same thing I asked Sam to start with. Does it feel like a game week to you now? Is it finally kind of settled in that you guys have a game on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a very good camp, and it's definitely easy to get caught up into the camp lifestyle. But with all the scout teams and everything getting introduced, reality's starting to set in, and everyone's getting fired up, and we're ready to play, man.
How much are you looking forward to actually playing in front of more than 100 people in the stands? I don't think there's going to be cardboard cutouts and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, last year was, it was definitely an experience, but there's nothing like an atmosphere where, Truist Field, when it's almost at max capacity or max capacity, hopefully, just hearing the crowd and the support is, it's always really great, and there's nothing like it.
Is that one of the factors that led to you coming back for a sixth season? Because it kind of felt like you might have, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but did you kind of feel like you got cheated out of that last year?
I think I'd be lying if a lot of people said that they didn't. I'd be lying if a lot of people said that they did. Yeah, that they did not get cheated out last year. But that definitely is a big factor that I thought about when coming back. I want to have that experience and go out the right way.
Perfect. We'll turn it over to Zoom here.
Brandon, a lot gets made from time to time of you guys maybe not having the receiving success as a guy like Cam Sernier had done in the past. Does that ever kind of creep up in the room a little bit? Not from like a disappointment standpoint, but just what can I be doing better to kind of help the offense a little bit?
Cam Sernier was a heck of a tight end, and he's definitely someone that I've looked up to since I got here. But our offense is consistently changing, and with the personnel that we have, and I'm just me and Blake in the tight end room, we're just going to do whatever Coach R wants us to do. He knows what plays need to be called, and we follow his orders. And with that, I think we're going to have a successful season.
Brandon, I think on the depth chart, there's an and for you and Blake.
Is
that giving away the farm that you guys are both going to be on the field to start the game?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right now, Blake has definitely come along, and he, without a doubt, is a starter in my eyes. And we're both starters. Obviously, I'm older. I've been here longer, so I'll start the first series, but he's definitely proved himself to being definitely a starter.
Is that one of the things you take pride in? I seem to remember last year doing one of these in the computer, but you were saying kind of that Blake had to come along and get ready to play. Him being at this point, is that a pride factor for you? Yeah,
probably more than half of the tight end room, I've mentored, or I've been a big brother to. So, when guys start stepping up and start playing very well and achieving their potential, it definitely makes me feel good, and it makes me feel good about the future of Wake Forest.
Is that something that you kind of did Cam or Jack or anybody else do that for you, and just
definitely
chain link?
Yeah,
guys doing that.
Definitely. When I first got here, Cam was here, and I was so young, but I kept getting better and better because I looked up to him, and I wanted to be just like him. And then after he left, it was me and Jack, and then Jack was the starter, and I split time with him, and they kept bringing me along and helped me out, and I just kind of learned from them, and that's what I've taken along with me.
There seems to be an unprecedented confidence in the team this year, especially on the offensive side of the ball, given just what you guys have done the last 4 years. How do you guys look to maybe not get ahead of yourselves too much and sort of just kind of take it one day at a time, one game at a time, to have that successful season that you guys want to have this year?
Yeah, I mean, just, one snap at a time. I mean, Coach R's got a good game plan in, and he always does every week. And if we just follow that game plan and play like I know that we're capable of playing, I mean, the sky's the limit for us. But I mean, that's only if guys take pride in what they're doing and do their jobs.
Brandon, what excites you most about this offense?
We just got so many guys back, and just having the older guys kind of being that role model, and then that gave all the seniors coming back gave all the underclassmen another year of development. And I know that's always been an issue for us, is depth, and I think this year is the most depth that we've ever had since I've been here.
Anything else for Brandon? All right, thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, guys.
Then we'll have Trey Redd here. That'll round us out for player media this week. We'll open it up for questions in the room first before we turn it over to Zoom.
Can't remember if you were in here or not when I asked Brandon, but kind of the same thing I asked Brandon and Sam earlier. Starting to feel like game week and finally coming out of camp, and is it starting to feel like we've got a game coming up soon?
Oh, it's definitely feeling like we got a game. Everybody's more getting more locked in. Everybody's focusing on the task at hand. So I feel like going into this week was more of like a shift for us. Everybody was getting in the game mode. We're in the season now, so we got to shift gears and start preparing as if we do got a game this week.
What are some of the little things that are like indicators for that? Like Sam mentioned, people are starting to reach out for tickets and that kind of stuff. Is there something that kind of hits you in your head of like, oh yeah, we got one coming up?
I think for me, it was when we start having like the scout periods. Like once we start getting the scout periods, that's when most of the defense start like putting in the game plan. So once I saw that, we started having that more frequently. I was like, okay, now we're into game mode. Now we're preparing as if we're playing in the next couple of days. So I think that's when it hit for me.
What's the thing you're most looking forward to about having fans back in the stands, more than the 100 or so that you come last year?
Honestly, just playing in front of a crowd of people. I think that's gonna be a big thing. Like last year, it was kind of awkward. It was kind of weird. Like looking in the stands, you see a bunch of seats. Like it's just weird. It's not what we're accustomed to. But now I feel like it's gonna get back to where it was. So I think that's gonna be exciting to see.
Are you still going to be able to pick out your dad in the crowd?
Always. I'm always nowhere yet.
Yeah. Because of the finger, or because of just
Just a little bit of the finger and a little bit of I kind of know where he sits in the area, so I can always pick him out.
Turn it over to Zoom.
Hey Trey, Coach Clausen touched on the challenges of preparing for a team that hasn't played and with a new coach. What's been the challenges for you guys just looking at all the film and getting prepared for Old Dominion?
They haven't played in a minute, so it's kind of hard to actually know what they're going to come out and do. It's hard to really predict and say, okay, they're going to do this, they're going to try to do this, they're going to try to do that. Like it's kind of hard. The personnel is going to be different. You don't know who's going to be playing where or who may be playing starting. It's going to be it's really kind of hard to really predict what they're going to do. So we're just trying to go off with the little information that we got and just worry about what we got to do. Like we got to come out and just execute.
How much of that challenge is something that you look forward to, though, not knowing what they're going to do, but, taking that on as an opportunity to really show how good you guys can be this year?
Honestly, we just gonna go off the game plan. Like we have a game plan going in, and we're gonna execute. And I think that's a big thing for us. Is as long as we executing we know how we supposed to, we shouldn't have too much of a problem. Yeah, it would be better to have a good grasp of what they're gonna do, but honestly, going into this game, as long as we follow the game plan, we're gonna be straight.
Trey, a lot has been made about the experience that this team brings back, just a wealth of experience. But if you look down the depth chart, you see guys like Evan Slocum, JJ Roberts, Gavin Holmes, guys that really haven't gotten to the teeth of the schedule, as well as guys like Nasir and Kobe, and DJ Taylor that we haven't really seen in a while. As an older guy, you and Jasser, what has it been like to either ramp the new guys up to speed or kind of get those guys that have been out for a bit, back into the mindset of you're supposed to be here. This is your time,
For the older guys, I mean, I feel like it's not too much of a hassle trying to get them back out on the field and where they're supposed to be. I feel like they got the experience. They're old enough to know how to get themselves ready. So it's not too much of a hassle trying to worry about them. And for the younger guys, we just want to make sure they're understanding everything that needs to be done going into the season. This is gonna be like the first full season since 2 years, and some of them never got to really experience that. So trying to get them to understand what the task at hand is, being able to get up and watch film, know their assignments week in and week out, and be able to last the whole season. Because last year it was a shorter season for us. We didn't really get to play as many games. So having a full schedule, full season, lasting the whole season is a big thing for the younger guys.
On the part of lasting, is it more of after the first couple of games they start losing steam, or is it really when you hit the teeth of the ACC schedule that you see some of those younger guys really starting to hit the wall and being like, well, what's going on here?
Yeah, I feel like it's more of that. Once you get into the meat of the schedule, you start playing your ACC competition, and then also you're dealing with school, the young guys. They're dealing with school too. They're dealing with all the other stuff outside of football, and that start catching up on you. And then just the hassle that the season has on your body and your mental, that start catching up with you. So getting later in the season, you start dealing with a lot of other things that most young guys don't know how to cope with yet, or they just haven't had the experience to deal with that.
Trey, what do you like best about this defense?
Mainly the experience. We got a bunch of guys back, and we are very confident in our depth. We got a lot of the young guys up to speed. They're playing exceptional, and I feel like just going into this season, we have high hopes for our defense.
It's always fun to ask. We always hear about Jasheen, Rondell, yourself, Jasir. Who's a couple of guys that on a defense that it's kind of a make or break year that we should be looking out for this year?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to really say. I feel like a lot of people on our defense has performed and stepped up and made strides this fall camp. So it's kind of really hard to pick out a whole lot of people. That's really a hard question to say.
Did you feel like last year was you kind of got cheated out of the senior experience with the lack of crowds and shorter season?
I kind of did, yeah. Some of the games that I was looking forward to playing in didn't get to play in. The crowd wasn't there, so it didn't feel like a normal season. Just dealing with COVID, that being an issue, pretty much dealing with all the other stuff that a normal season doesn't have. That kind of messed it up for me a little bit, but still, I mean, I was grateful that I got to play at least. So
that make it a pretty easy decision to come back once you knew that you guys were going to get an extra year?
Yeah, I think that played a big amount of what I wanted to do. It just didn't feel like the way to go out, basically.
So what is the ideal way to go out?
Hey, I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything capable to make my team win. Leaving it all on the field, I don't want to finish out my college career with any regrets. I think that's the big thing. No, I don't want to have any regrets.
Anything else for Trey? All right, thanks, Trey.
All right.